Good morning. I'm going to show you how to make a drawing from this 132 base plate. I'm going to click on the down arrow next to the file, and I'm going to choose New Drawing, and I'm going to choose From Design. And make sure your units say inches. Mine says inches, so I'm good. So I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to click on the base view at the top left. And now I'm going to go ahead and place my base view here. And I'm going to go ahead and also I'm going to click on Projected. I'm going to make a top view. First, I select the front view. I'm going to create a top one. And I'm also going to create an isometric view as well. So I'm done. I'm going to right-click and choose OK. I'm going to right-click on the isometric one, and I'm going to click on Edit View. First, I have to select the drawing. I'm going to click this this blue cube, and that's going to go ahead and shade it in. And now we click OK. That's good. Now I'm going to zoom in real quick. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. I have a touch screen. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start dimensioning everything. I'm going to click on this center mark. And I'm going to click on all 9 of these holes to make little pluses for each of those 9 holes. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add dimensions. Now, basically, if you dimension everything that's on that piece of paper that you wrote and also that's already recorded, you can't go wrong. So I'm going to hit D for dimension, and I'm going to try to mimic everything that's on the drawing that's here. So the rightmost dimension is going to be on the right, 4 3/4. Okay. Now I'm going to do all the dimensions on the left. From the bottom to this hole at the top is going to be 3.88. Now I'm going to give it lots of room. Now notice it's doing 3.88 when the actual assignment is 3.875. I'm not going to fuss that we'll have that specific number of significant figures. Okay. So we're not going to fuss about that being a little bit different. Okay. Next, I'm going to go ahead and dimension from the bottom to this second set of holes. All right, that says 2.75. Okay, next I need to go ahead and dimension from the bottom to the bottom of the square. So I click on the bottom of the square, and now I click this bottom edge. There we go. All right, I'm going to drag it out here. Now next we need the width of the square. Okay, so I'm going to click on this edge right here. It says 1.25. That looks good. All right. Now I've did everything on the left-hand side. I need to put some other dimensions on the bottom and some additional dimensions on the right. So to zoom, I'm going to click on Zoom Window. And that's good. And now I'm going to go ahead and dimension. I'm going to hit D for dimension. Actually, before I do that, hit Escape. I'm going to move this 4.25 way to the right to give me lots of room. There we go. And now I'm going to hit D for dimension. And I'm going to go from the bottom to the bottom edge of my here, of the bottom edge of that rectangle, and I'm going to scooch it over to the right. Now I'm going to go from the bottom to this hole. I'm going to scooch it to the right. Notice the largest dimensions on the outside, and then as you go closer to the inside, then you're going to see them get smaller. Same thing over here, largest on the outside, and then as you go inside, they tend to get smaller. So I'm going to go click on the bottom edge, and I'm going to click on the upper set of holes. Oops, that didn't take, so let me hit Escape. I'm going to hit D for dimension again. I'm not sure what I did. Click on the bottom one, and now I'm click on this hole. There we go, that's better, 1.5. And then now I'm going to click on the bottom. And then I'm going to click on this hole, 0.38. Now the last thing I need to do is I need to specify how wide this is right here. So from this rectangle, from here to here, it's going to be 0.5. So we got 0.5. Okay. So I've got all the dimensions on the right side and all the dimensions on the left side. I need to go ahead and place the dimensions that need to go on the bottom. Okay, so the easiest way to do a zoom is if I click on the zoom window, and it's allowing me to specify the first corner. I'm going to click on this first corner up here, and I want to kind of go down to here. This is what I want to zoom in on. So there we go. That's a pretty good zoom in. Okay, now I'm going to hit D for dimension, and I'm going to go from the left edge to the right edge, and I'm going to put that way down at the bottom. Now I'm going to go from this hole to the left edge. There we go. And then I'm going to do from the next hole to the left edge. And then next I'm going to do from the left edge to the left edge of the square. That looks good. And now I need to do the width of the square. Okay, again, notice as we go from outside to inside, the numbers get smaller. Now, I just need to do a couple things on the top. My goal is to go ahead and make everything that matches the actual base plate drawing that you dimension. So next, I'm going to go ahead and click on Fit again. So it zooms out. Now I'm going to click on Zoom Window, and my first corner is going to be here, and then I'm going to kind of go up to there. There we go. So now I'm going to hit D for dimension, and I'm going to go ahead and dimension from the left edge to the rightmost hole. All right, that looks good. And now I'm going to go from the left edge I need to hit D for dimension. From the left edge to the leftmost hole. And next, I need to go ahead and dimension from the right edge to this hole. There we go. And then I need to go from the right edge to the left edge of my rectangle. There we go. So I got those 4 dimensions on top. I'm going to click on Zoom Window. I'm going to click on here, maybe a little bit bigger than my part. Okay, now I'm going to click on the down arrow under Dimensions, and I'm going to choose Diameter Dimension. Now I have to click the outside of the hole. It's very sensitive. Okay, there we go. That one's 0.2. Okay, now I need to do, again, Dimensions. And I'm going to go ahead and specify Diameter Dimension. Again, it's very sensitive. Gotta wait till I see there it is, good. That one's 0.3. Let's see. This one is 0.191. I'm going to do this one, 0.191. That one looks good. And then I'm going to do this one here is also 0.23. And this one at the bottom right is also 0.191. Now, all the rest of them, all 4 of these holes are the exact same size. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose one of them. Good. Now we want to go ahead and identify. We're going to go click on right click on that 0.18, and I'm going to choose the add annotation, and I want to go ahead and specify the text. Let's see. And we're going to add, click on it. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do times 4. So that way, the last 4 of these holes are the exact same diameter. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. All those are exactly the same. Now, the last thing I need to do is I need to specify how thick the part is. So I'm going to click on Fit. And I'm going to just go ahead and click on Zoom window. And I just want to go ahead and zoom on this so I can make that a little bit bigger. So now I'm going to do D for dimension, and I need to go ahead and specify how thick it is from here to here. Okay. Now, one thing, a lot of these lines right here are supposed to represent the holes, but it's so distracting because there's so many lines that I'm not going to go ahead and bother to do any center lines. If it was useful, it would be worth our while to go ahead and make center lines, but there's so many lines here, it's so confusing, it's not really worth our while. It's not going to help us. So now I'm going to click on Fit. There we go. So we're done. So that's how to go ahead and make the join for the base plate. Oh, let me go ahead and save it. Click on Save, and we're going to call it, there we go, 132 base plate join. Make sure I save it in the right folder.